Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Dem Joke Blokes. That's Delta Green. You find us going to poke some bodies with big sticks or something along those lines. Without further ado, I'll hand it over to our handler, Ham Hock.
You hand it over to me all you like. Yeah, about that. So it's 7 a.m., October the 4th, effectively day 2 for you guys. You have a bag of things to do. You've got an appointment with the coroner at 8. You've got an appointment with your best friend Enrico Suave at 1. You've got a crash site somewhere. You've got whatever. You know what you're doing. Blah blah blah. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, boys. You're sitting there eating donuts in the police station.
Am I not still asleep? What? We was in a motel.
No, we went to the police station in the morning. We took them donuts, remember?
That's right, yeah. And then we chatted to the lady in the car park who wants to be an agent, and they gave us information about extra animals that had been extra missing.
Yeah.
Detective Pitt, I think her name was.
Detective Pitt is on the case of the missing local animals, and she's got to give us more information. There might be a job opening for her.
No, that was Sally. That was Detective. Oh. That was Officer Sally and Officer Harry, who have now clocked off. And Officer Barry and Officer Larry now are on the case. Do you want to know? I mean, they gave you some scribbled down information on some missing pets. Do you want to know a bit more about that?
Yeah,
or is that a dead end?
Well, no, seeing as you've got more information scribbled down on them, I'm guessing it's not. So, yes, we would love to have this information.
No, he's not a handler. I guarantee you I've scribbled down if it was completely meaningless.
Just give us the information and we might follow it up, we might not.
So I've got addresses and I've got the animals that have been reported missing. What do you want? Contextually, what do you want to do with that information? Do you want to know where the addresses are? Do you want to?
Yeah, I want to know where they are. I want to see if there's a ring around the original crime scene, or if they're leading in a straight line from the original crime scene.
Yes, some sort of overlay on the map to tell us whereabouts they were from contamination point 0.
So what would you do? Go on Google Maps or something and just look at that?
Yeah. And I mean, I'll probably do. You're driving, right, David? So I'd probably do this as we're on our way to the coroner's.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's take a leap of faith and see if this works. So, can you see that?
It's a black square.
I see a black square.
A black square is good. That is fine.
Well, panic! It's turned out to be an oblong.
Oh yeah.
Everybody
panic.
What we got?
Can I move these things out of the way? Can I move your beautiful faces out of the way?
Yeah, you grab the bottom left. You grab the bottom left, little white lines, 3 white lines, and you just move it around, drop and drag.
Epic, right?
It is rather epic, isn't it?
This is great video or production values.
Okay, so come on, what's going on?
Yeah, I can see the bit that you've revealed.
Okay, that's a start, right? So, we got the first thing you had was a dog the other day, wasn't it? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, the dog was from Ellen DeGeneres.
Ellen DeGeneres. Okay, so you can see that.
Yeah, it's got a big X for it for some reason.
Yes, that's dead. That is.
That's a dead dog.
That's a dead dog. It's missing.
It's missing.
It's a missing dog. Should we turn that from a dead dog to a missing dog, shall we? Because you are obviously going to find it, aren't you? Of course you are.
Well, at least some part of it.
Can I just ask, why do you hate dogs so much?
Me?
Yeah, last game you caused the death of an innocent dog.
No, last game you rolled a critical and then you machine gunned a dog to death, which was a friend. The zombie dog I brought back to life. I love dogs so much, I brought it back to life for you.
That's true, and I machine gunned that one to death and all, didn't I?
I would say that would stand up in a court of law, don't you? Well, sorry, I'm looking at this screen. So bear with me. There was a report of a border collie. Bless its little cotton socks. Let me find out where that might have been. Because this might be a bit of fun. This is riveting viewing, but I don't give a fuck. Right. Oh, look! There we go. We got a dog. Hey.
Huge. How has that gone missing?
Do you know what? It must be something to do with the rambling shambler, and maybe it's got like the genetic material of it, and now it's the size of the World Trade Center.
It's a shambling mound.
We had
as long as it doesn't become a vampire as well, we're all right.
We had a German Shepherd, I think Harry was saying. How is it, Harry or Sally? Sorry. Oh gosh, better get my Aries right, else I'm in trouble. Oh yes, there we go. Oh, there's a back legs of something there. McFly, the German Shepherd, 3rd of October. Like the evening. These are the evenings. These are reports of them like just disappearing in the evenings. What else did I say? Did you make a note? Cats. Didn't I? What? Cats. Oh, cat. Oh dear. Oh dear. This isn't good, is it? You're like, you're waiting with bated breath there.
Yeah, well, I'm
trying. Oh, look, there's a wild cat there, just waiting to be revealed. The tension is like nothing on earth, isn't it? Talk about.
I'm definitely trying to discern a pattern, but like.
Oh, did I say anything else? German Shepherd, cat. Oh.
Where's the cat? I can't see a cat.
It's because the cat is hiding. There's the cat. You can see the cat now. Oh, do you know what? Plot twist.
Pumba, I can't hear you.
I was muted for reasons beyond your knowledge.
Okay. It's fine.
I've just got to change.
What was the plot twist?
The cat looks well scared of the German Shepherd.
It looks more scared of us. It's looking at me.
And that is that is it. So I've put the animals that don't have a red line over.
I'm not going to take part in a game where you make pretend animals and then kill them.
Too late for that.
Well, they're all dead.
Those are animals where they sit is where they live broadly, right? Okay.
Best friend rodent rescue. Please tell me that is the real place. Can we go there? See if there's any animals left there.
I didn't even notice that actually. Where is that? There's a mistake. But surely nothing is a mistake.
It looks like they emanated from contamination point 0 and are heading south. Not the fact that this oblong goes really, really south means anything. But yes, that's what I have gained from this information.
Mm. I'm not certain we actually want to find whatever's doing that.
Well, if you caught all the crow, maybe it wouldn't be.
I tried to catch the crow. I tried very hard to catch that crow.
Yeah, I remember. It was hilarious. Okay, so we can chalk that up to time being. Like, I'll point out the pattern that I've seen.
Yeah.
Okay. While we're driving along, I'll cause you to crash and then laugh.
Whoa.
Latter-day Saints. Oh, dear.
So
is that the local church where fucking Ellen DeGeneres was doing all of her shit?
Yes.
This is a good map, apart from the rodent rescue.
So it looks like it's headed for this woody area.
I don't want to put words in your mouth. You see here, so I'm revealing a little bit more of the map because I don't want you to make assumptions either way, and I don't want you, and also you don't know whether this is just
Coinky dink,
and animals not being able to get back because of the curfew or being freaked out, or
I don't know how animals really respect curfews or anything like that. I don't know if cats are that bothered about lockdowns or anything. I think there's definitely something eating things, and it's gone into. Okay, so there isn't a section of woods there, although that does look like a kind of wooded area, doesn't it? What?
If you was a shuffling mound trying to keep undercover until your vampire overlords come and snaffled you up, then you would stick to the shadows.
Yeah, I know, but that is. I'm right thinking this is like a kind of woods, right? You've got Google Maps out, haven't you, Pat?
Yes, yes. I am on Google Maps looking at this.
So that looks like a kind of wooded area, a park or something, maybe?
I think maybe just like... I'm not sure. It might just be richer houses or estates. It's right near a church. You know, they like to be in the middle of money.
Looks like common land, a little bit of kind of commercial land, like not junkyard land, but, you know, kind of like mixed kind of ex-commercial area, like land of no use, where people maybe can't get planning permission to build houses on, so it's just kind of left. There's the odd kind of commercial operation in there as well that's allowed to run, that you can glean from Google.
Okay. All right. Well,
I mean, let's put that on the back burner. Let's keep on with our task at hand, which is look at the bodies and go fuck up Mr. Suave.
We can only follow that up by sort of driving around that neck of the woods anyway, isn't it? That'll be a boots on the ground operation, unless. Ooh, okay. Right, so we're going to get some beat cops proper investigating this for us.
So we're going to have to speak to the chief of police that way. Or do we want to get Roberta Kane, your Doris, to get on it?
It's not right to get the CDC on that. That doesn't.
Yeah, but I mean, they've got. She's a friendly. She's got official clearance, and also like she knows the area already. Whether she gets beat cops to do it or whatever else, we just point her in that direction so that she can deal with the hardship.
Yeah. Handler, quick question: how much does Roberta Kane know about what we're investigating? I know she's a Delta Green friendly, but like, would she have an inkling of like, you know? If I asked her to do something that's pretty strange, like she knows we're not dealing with an actual disease, right? Like she's aware of that. We're dealing with something kind of potentially paranormal.
You know, when I like move closer to the camera, you know the answer you're going to get. It's either going to be sarcastic, misleading, or not an answer at all, or something like, "Why don't you fucking ask her?"
I can't ask her how much she knows about Delta Green.
Why not?
I think,
but you can't ask me either.
Well, he's thinking of DDB and rolling insight, isn't he? He's trying to roll insight into the situation.
Do you know what? That is fair, and that does help the situation move forward rather than come to the stone wall, which is your current handler. So, you have your human and your knowledge that she is mentioned as being a friendly. And the conversations that you had with her at the house, and the fact that she's dealt with sticky problems for you, means that you know that she knows of the program. You know that's not a secret. So she, you have an idea that she is on board with constraining things that can't be described or can't be understood, right? And you also know that she knows how to escalate that. Now, how would she know who to escalate it to? Joe, like any old senior CDC person, wouldn't know to escalate it to a slightly black federal organization, right? So that suggests to you that this is not her first rodeo, and that her relaxed nature on site on the house completely means to you that she is thinking that this is not the CDC's jurisdiction anymore, but is serious enough and treats it seriously enough to help you out, in a tight spot. So
what I was trying to get at was like, I didn't understand whether a friendly was potentially someone who's just kind of being used without really knowing why, whereas she knows vaguely why, at least bare minimum.
I would suggest she's seen as much as you guys.
I would suggest she's probably seen more than we have. This is, I mean, as you say, this is not her first rodeo. This is my first rodeo, and I brought my idiot friend along. So
this is like if you turn it around, if there'd been a murder you're from Baltimore, right? Are you from Baltimore or you're Boston? You're from Boston, were you? Dave?
Boston. I think I may have said Baltimore before.
You did say Baltimore before, yeah. We were talking about The Wire too much. That was a problem. So, if you as a private investigator came across a body in this situation that you yourself saw that was degrading, you'd probably know who to call.
Yeah.
And you'd probably know what to do at that point with the body and keeping people away and yada yada yada. Because you've worked and you've developed a relationship with some kind of shady guy over time, and that has become more and more, and your jobs have become more and more strange and weird.
Make it sound quite silly. It didn't feel like that at the time.
What?
Like the meeting with this guy, like we were just in a deli, like we're just friends.
It can be whatever you want it to be. I like to think that even though there's so much of this story, we can somewhat write it together. And yeah, as Shogun quite aptly pointed out, you're probably, stroking the Delta Pink for extra work from time to time.
I love you.
So she was called a friendly by Delta Green.
Yeah,
that suggests she's trustworthy. As far as this case is concerned, up to the point that you were introduced to her. You know better than to trust people blindly, but that doesn't mean you couldn't develop a relationship with her. And if you were to openly talk to her about weird stuff going on, it wouldn't. You don't think there's any concern in doing that? You don't need to talk in kind of code, and with her. You don't need to talk in innuendo with her either.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay, got this. So we're driving towards the morgue. Or no, the medical examiner's place, right? Sorry, they've been released from the morgue to the medical examiner's place. I would like to call Roberta Kane from outside. Actually, no, wait. What time is it? We've got an appointment at 8 with him, right?
Yeah, you got an hour or so. You're like dicking around on Google Maps for all of 5 minutes.
Yeah, so I'm not going to call Roberta Kane until after this.
Sure.
It's 8 in the morning. Who wants to get phoned at 8 in the morning?
Any dignified business person. So let's ring Bark, see if they're awake, and get them to look into the fire or at least the addresses or the contact details of Dino Thing and Wabble Wab.
Belton and Wells, yeah, cool. Okie dokie. So I can't remember the guy's name actually. It was Mr. Bark, I think, and no doubt, and his wife, wasn't it? How was it? That was a couple. They pick up. They're working, man. They're like hard at work.
What's that? It's 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, this is Bark. How can I help?
Hey, this is shit. What did I call myself? Agent Riggs.
Agent Riggs. Riggs.
Came in yesterday and looked at some files.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, it was literally only like 12 hours ago, wasn't it? And yeah, cool. How you doing? You got any further?
Well, we've got some leads to follow. We was wondering if you would be willing to help. Could open up some more job opportunities for you later with the agency.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, of course. For sure.
It's about one of your. Oh, sorry. Carry on.
No, you go on and just cross lines there, mate. Go on, carry on.
Yeah, it's about one of your competitors actually in town. Dino, Belton and Wells. Know them?
Yeah. They're a good, long-established company. You hear about the strip mall,
That's
Mill Creek.
exactly right. Exactly right.
Their offices are gone. Unfortunately, they're like part of the other commercial properties down there. I presume everyone's okay.
Well, that's the thing. I'm having trouble actually finding them individually, and wondered if you could, as I'm quite busy doing following some other leads, if you could follow this lead for us and get us some contact information and known whereabouts.
Do you want to speak to them?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, sure. That's no problem. I'm not in the office right now, but if you allow me to get in the office, give me half an hour or something. I'm pretty sure I've got their contact number if you want it. You won't really get much out of Dino. He's the owner, but he's retired, man. But Belton and Wells, the pair of them, you'll get those pretty. They're great people. Yeah.
Okay, great. So if you could get that over to me when you can, just text me on this number, and I'll make sure you are remunerated for your services.
Yeah, well, that's sweet. No, you know what? Don't worry about it. This is literally just going through a fucking Rolodex. I'm surprised I don't have their number on my phone, to be honest. So just give me an hour or so, okay?
Thank you, Mr. Buck. I'll speak to you soon.
Catch you later.
Bye-bye.
Sounds like that
was easy, wasn't it?
Maybe too easy.
I was just thinking that.
Right, so we are headed.
Love it. Sorry. Go on.
So we're heading out. Did I retrieve the dictaphone from the footwell when he tried to lob it out the window?
It's still in the footwell. We're still in the car.
Yeah, I want to pick that up at some point. Yeah, other than that, I mean, how long is it going to take us to drive over to the medical examiner?
No time at all, 20 minutes at most. This is rush hour. You were, where were you? You weren't that far away at all, were you? No,
we're at the police station down the southwest.
Yeah, by the time you get your shit together, call it. You could arrive there for 7:30. If you got anything else to do, you could do it.
I don't think there is anything else to do.
I want to make an alertness and make sure we're not being followed by anyone. Yes, Pumba, you can do that. Great, I will.
Do whatever you like. Your alertness is so high. A lot of the time, I don't need you to roll it unless there's.
Well, I failed.
Yeah. I think sometimes I ask you to roll a bit too much for this game because I come off the back of a D&D session. I know that when a lot of the time your skills are like king and you should be able to do most things. You should either be able to do them or not. And then if you're rolling, you're like taking a bit of a gamble or there's some consequence to it. But I like rolling dice. We all like rolling dice. It's fun.
Yeah, who doesn't?
There's definitely no one following you.
I like the idea that you turn around and stared into the headrest for a little bit and we're like, no, we're cool.
There's actually quite a lot of traffic. It's
any familiar cars? Maybe
No.
like a gold Mercedes or a brown, whatever the other thing was.
No, but you are actively keeping your eyes out for a brown Lexus. So even if no matter the age, you're keeping your eyes open for like a brownie goldy Lexus. Okay, I will assume
that Mercedes of Suave.
And the gold Mercedes of Suave, of course. Yeah, how could I forget that?
I'm never going to forget that until Retribution is sunk.
I should have forgotten about his car. Better write that down. Yeah, no, nothing untoward. It's not like you sleep here or anything. It's just, yeah, I think you're looking for these things. They're just not there. You're not sticking out either, really. You're in a very boring old car. The only people who know what you're driving around in are Enrico Suave. So he's probably going to keep his distance if he's following you, like he's doing now. Just kidding. And
maybe not.
Who else knows about your car? kind of police officers and so on. Crooked policemen who might want to tail you and then take all the credit for all this fine crime fighting that you're doing. Yeah, dirty cops everywhere.
Breathing.
If you want to flash forward to your arrival at the medical centre, be my guest. It is an uneventful 20-minute drive. I think we used a little... What's that?
Let's say we'll pull up outside and maybe it's like 1:45, right?
Yeah.
Can we stop at a convenience store?
You can do whatever you
no
like.
problem, man.
I'm just going to buy some jerky.
Okay, you buy some jerky.
Some potato jerky.
Yeah, just buy some jerky.
Beautiful.
Not potato jerky. It's got to be jerky. Some meat product.
Some fine
I'm gonna
dried
feed
meat.
it to our finger.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Go on then. Fine.
Yeah.
Talk me through exactly what you're doing and exactly what your and how you're doing it, please.
At the moment, I've just bought some jerky. I haven't done anything else yet.
Talk me through that. No, I'm kidding.
I would also like to buy a Zippo lighter and a thing of lighter. Pop that on the inside of the jacket, and also a pair of scissors as well. Like a sharp. They have like a sharp pair of scissors.
What, like tailor scissors?
Just any sharp scissors.
Hairdressing scissors. We're going rubber barber.
I'm seeing a couple of useful items. So, like, lighter fluid and a lighter definitely useful.
I've got a really sharp Japanese dagger in the fucking back if you want it.
These are the tools that you take into an autopsy.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking like to have some mundane things that are also utility.
Vicks. Yeah. We need Vicks. Put on the nose. Stop the smell.
I
don't want you throwing up when we get in there.
I think David would know protocol for bodies.
Well, I think Pat just thought of it. So he goes and gets a family-sized tub of Vicks.
Oh no! I think Hawkins buys a couple of big cigars, cheap one.
I've got an idea.
We have equipment now.
I was going to say, because we're talking about it, should we talk about what your like go bag would entail? Given like your what you would have taken on the flight with you that isn't special, but stuff that you would take on a mission, like a rucksack that you would take on a mission, which would have stuff in it for you to do shit. And if you don't have it, then you could pick up some stuff at this store. So what have you got on you? You start, Dave. So you're talking about scissors and you've got like evidence bags and those sort of things that you would have taken from site as well, and just stuff those in case you needed them.
So like it's not like a bag or something. It's just like within jacket pockets. So it's all like pretty low profile. He's got a lighter, some lighter fuel. He's got some set of handcuffs on him. His pistol.
You had a revolver.
Some spare ammunition, but not much.
You had a revolver, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, like a snub nose 38. You got to unmute your mic, bro.
It wasn't overly important, though. I just said how very noir.
And cups as well, yeah.
That's it. It doesn't really. I mean, He's not a seasoned person for going out on missions, so he's got no idea what he was doing. Really, car keys, wallet, or phone, kind of a guy.
You'd have your own private. Your whiskey, yeah. The private investigator's go bag is basically like the tools of the trade, right? Not rather than tools of Delta Green, it's tools of the trade, yeah. And for Pat, we'd already mentioned that you might have some bits and pieces on you last time, so we know about the dagger, blah blah blah.
The duffel bag I had shoved into David's hand when I first got it would have some rope of some description, some high tension rope. Capable of lifting at least one or two people. Some kind of grappling hook, a glass cutter, some lock picks, maybe a small pry bar, Slim Jim, and half a tennis ball.
Oh, for popping locks, is that right?
That's right. Well done.
Yeah. Don't know why I know that. What? Anyway,
You normally put Vaseline around a pressurized lock, normally in an old Fiesta, and then you push the air in and it pops the vacuum sealed lock up in the door.
Have you got lube on you as well?
Yeah, some kind of jelly. Yeah, some kind of jelly. When you're cutting glass, you want to lube it up first because you don't want it to crack.
I like it. I put lockpick. There we go. And a Jimmy.
4 litres of lube.
Yeah, just one big family-sized KY jelly.
Family size.
That's grand.
And also my green tracksuit. Don't forget my green tracksuit.
Oh, of course, yeah. Never forget. Sweet as. So, and you've got some beef jerky, and you've got a finger in a jar as well. A blue finger in a jar.
That's just in the boot. That's not in my duffel bag.
Okay, fine. And some beef jerky. We said that. So what are you doing?
We are going to go into the medical examiner's office, I guess, because once we've been to the convenience store, we'll probably be on time.
Fine. Both of you roll me an alertness, please. Yeah, boy. Do it.
Oh, God.
That's lovely. Oh, look at that. Look at that, Frankie. Beautiful.
Too many donuts.
I'm going to type this for you, and you can choose to do what you want with this.
What does that mean?
I don't actually know. Hold that thought. Hold that thought for a mo.
I've just noticed there's a cash reward for that. We should probably drop this Delta Green stuff and get on that.
Get on what, sorry?
There's a cash reward if we find that missing dog.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll tell you what, because I got this bag in the boot full of her jewellery, so we don't really need to worry about cash at the minute.
Hang on a second, this dog doesn't sound like he's going to do too well. He's 11 years old and deaf and needs daily medication for his heart murmur.
I think the dog's dead, man. We've got to face it. The dog's dead.
Why is that a cash reward out for you?
You see that? Can you see that, Frankie? Can you see that, Frankie? David,
that dick pic, yeah, it's quite nice.
You see it? Can you see that in the chat box?
No, I thought you were talking about that picture you sent me. No, I can't see that. All right, so GM is typing.
Yes,
yeah,
that's right.
I could see something. I can see something.
Are you telling secrets there, handler?
No.
Quite clearly.
That's hurtful.
Well, you should have been better at being alert, shouldn't you?
I tried.
Yeah.
Open it up then.
Okay. It's the first time I've used that. I thought I'd try it in this instance.
Okay, so yeah, I get out of the car as we're walking away through the car. Hey, Dave, do you hear that?
No, I don't hear anything.
There's very much like a scratching on glass kind of noise, scratching and tapping on glass coming from the trunk.
No, I don't hear a thing.
Up.
Yeah, go on.
Definitely. All right, so I don't have a pistol, do I? I wasn't trusted. So I stand at a distance and I pop the trunk and jump back.
You can see the jar in the boot. Assuming it's like a 4-inch jar or something, like a big pot. That's it, yeah. And the finger inside is very animated, much more so than you've seen before, and it's articulate in that it's trying to roll the jar. It's almost like
swoopy technique.
It's like rolling the jar from inside with a small amount of control, given that it's inside the jar, but trying to kind of find. It's like bouncing against the sides of the trunk, trying to find a way out, like harmlessly, but doing it in a very eerie, but obviously kind of intelligent manner.
I just tapped, like while staring at it, not looking. I just tapped David. I'm like, "Hey, give me that lighter fluid."
and it's doing it. It's not like it can escape, and it's not like it's kind of breaking out, but it's trying to use the jar as a vehicle,
like a hamster in a hamster wheel.
Absolutely, yeah.
Can I pick it up? Is it safe? Do I think it would be safe to pick it up? Fuck it, I'll pick it up.
The whole gamut of emotion.
I'll pick it up and hold it at a distance like that.
It stops trying to roll, and it kind of, you hold it up, and the finger stands up, and it tries to you can feel the weight shift, you can feel the center of gravity shift in the jar that you're holding. It's trying to tip the jar out of your hand.
All right, so I hold it and I go, isn't it cute? And I just tap back at the glass.
You're in complete control of it. There's no way that the weight of a finger is going to cause any issue to you.
So I hold it up and I just go, "Hello, mate. How you doing?"
It reacts to the situation. It's reacting to the situation that it's in now, and it's changed its approach. It's trying to articulate and to move.
So, Dave, you seen this? We got a Tamagotchi.
When you
did fucking around with that finger? We've got an appointment with Mr. Stubbs.
Did you just tap it then? Did you just tap the glass?
Yes, you did.
Okay, it stops and it taps back.
I think it's trying to communicate.
It taps back with its nail, but it only does it the once.
Oh. Right.
And it's like perfect.
Yes,
it
one
stops.
for no. Do you understand me?
It hasn't got any ears, it's just a finger.
Well, it's reacting to something.
Yeah, but one thing, it can't hear you.
How do you know? Have you ever seen shit like this before?
No, but I have seen fingers before, and I'm almost certain that fingers can't hear.
Did you say 2 for yes, 1 for no?
Yes.
To it. It kind of lies down, I suppose, so it goes prone inside the jar.
Are you playing COD?
Did you just ask it? Is it playing COD?
Yeah, just look around for enemies.
It stands up.
Well, this is rather confusing. I think we should take this to see someone.
I think you should roll. I think you should roll Sam.
I think I'm too stupid to realise that it's a problem. Right. Sanity makes me angry.
Oh!
I drink the finger.
David, you're trying to rationalise this, right? I mean, you're only going to lose 1, but you're going to you need to figure out a way of rationalising this as a character. You lose 1 point of sanity, but how are you going to rationalise that what you've seen is not coincidence?
Somehow he's telling himself that it's not actually that long since the person became a corpse, and like it's well known that for hours afterwards corpses can be twitching around, like, so this must be an extension of that, and the fact that it's been turned blue by some strange science I mean, who knows what's going on? You know, this is completely normal, right? It's just the muscles.
That's good for you. Pat, are you feeling all right about this? You seem
I'm
to be
fascinated.
You seem to be coping quite well with it. You got a new toy.
Exactly. My childlike presence. I start throwing the jar backwards and forwards, see if I can make it throw up.
It's
Jesus
push.
Christ.
It's
Put it back in the boot.
But he might be hungry.
Wrap it in your tracksuit.
Fuck off! Wrap it in your shitty suit.
It's not a shitty suit.
And my tracksuit's fucking more expensive than your suit.
I'm sure it is, but you know, I'm wearing my suit right now.
Should I stab it?
I'm going to go with no,
No.
or at least not yet.
Okay.
no.
Should we feed it? I feel like I should call it Digit.
No, definitely not.
Why not?
You can call it whatever you want to call it.
I'm going to call it Digit.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You call it Digit.
Digit the third.
It's considerably
Is it
more,
an index finger?
We could never tell. You found it on a fucking
You
crow.
actually don't know, because while it certainly looks like a human finger, it's difficult. It doesn't. It's not immediately obvious that it's any finger. It's certainly not a thumb, right? It could be a large little finger. It could be a small index. There's nothing in the bone structure. There's a lot of symmetry to it, so there's nothing in the bone structure to suggest that it's kind of a particular
I've
finger.
got its name.
Go for
Digit.
it.
Large little finger. We will call it Mea Carcetti. Mea Carcetti's coming with me, and I make sure it's all tightened up when I carry it.
So it wasn't too long ago that you were very angry about having the finger foisted upon yourself, and now it's become your pet. And
Well, now it's fun.
And now
It
you
was
know.
a fucking dead finger before. Look at him go.
Now you know. Now you know why you've been invited along.
So it's obviously the proximity to Amber, isn't
The
it?
other dead people. Maybe. I mean, is it pointing in the way of the medical centre when it lays down prone? Is it trying to direct me? As much as this role playing with this glass is fun, I'm going to need to fill it up with alcohol soon. So we can get past this bit.
I can draw this out. We've done 42 minutes of this session. The finger is more active on the side of the medical centre.
Ah, all right.
As
be-
you ask, unprompted.
I
Interesting.
think it might need to be reconnected.
Right.
All right. What about this? We feed it some jerky just in case he's hungry, and then we leave it in the boot. But I move my duffel bag and my tracksuit into the car so it's not near it if it decides to explode.
Okay, talk me through
I
it.
haven't got a problem with that.
Right. So I've got to open it to feed it the jerky. So be alert.
Okay, so it as
Hold
you
the lid shut.
as you unscrew it, the finger stops twitching so much, but it's still like writhing. Okay.
I get me a piece of jerky and I
It
do one
doesn't-
of them. What you go?
It doesn't jump out or anything. It's kind of it's a finger. It doesn't look as though it's got kind of much spring to it. You drop a bit of jerky in there, yeah, and you leave it open.
No, screw it back up straight away. I just did the whole.
Oh, I see. Right, yeah, like whatever.
Like when you feed a tarantula. Fuck that.
It's thoroughly disinterested in your beef jerky.
Oh well, your loss, and I just chuck it in the back of the boat.
It's now a jar with some beef jerky in and a bit of a
finger.
bit of a spazzy finger.
Okay, so as I said, I moved my duffel bag and all the belongings into under the front seat of the front car, of the front seat, obviously. and it's now got its own boot to roll around in and play. It'll be happy. Let's go.
Okay. So you've been here before, haven't you, David? But you have not, Pat. I've just brought up this generic map just so we can orient ourselves anyway. But if you remember last time, you went in through, you parked up and you went in through the front entrance, I think, and then there was a waiting area, and then there was I don't know, I think there was a reception desk or something. Oh, this doesn't line up with where I'm clicking, but that doesn't matter. There was a reception desk kind of there, and then the rest of it was somewhat out of bounds. I think at the time there was a police officer just in the medical centre as well, which again was not unusual. You don't recognise the officer from your trip to the station. Nothing much different. There's cars pulling up, and there's staff, nurses, and administration staff coming in, like pouring in about this time. So you the assumption is maybe they start at 8. That's maybe why you were asked to come at 8.
Okay, so I'd like to approach the reception desk and say, got an appointment with Dr. Stubbs.
Jackie, the woman on the desk, says hi. She was the same woman who saw you yesterday. She recognises you and says, certainly, sir. Take a seat in the waiting area, you and your colleague, and then we'll... Dr. Stubbs will be out in a bit. He's just dealing with something. I'll let him know you're here.
Thank you very much.
Here, Dave. Do you reckon if that's all moving about like crazy motherfucker, that the other bits are all moving about like crazy motherfuckers, and that's what he's dealing with?
Potentially.
Oh, this is grand.
I mean, that was... I'm trying to work it out. So if that was part... We think that was part of the... That was either potentially part of the... whatever left the lab, or part of Tierbull after he melted, right?
Well, or it was something that's grown from the bounce stuff that's infected the bodies, which made them all like, bleh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it either came out of the lab or it came from Tierbull, the finger. More likely from the lab.
Or the crow. So the fact that you lummoxed through that fence, like it could be a case of, are you vaping?
I'm vaping, yes.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so it's either whatever's the infection 0 is growing extra parts that want to be reassembled, or they're parts that have been ripped apart somehow and they want to get back together. Is my theory. Or they've grown and then need to find the other bits that have grown. Or vampires.
Or shambling.
We already know it's vampires already.
Yeah, that's old news. Yeah, guys. Have you got your steaks ready?
I just checked and I've only got like half
a ribeye.
Garlic, so
I got a ribeye and really stinky breath. Right, so I think it's all going to kick off. And I left my knife in the car. That's all.
I don't think it's all going to kick off. I think it's going to be chill as fuck.
Zombies and shit, man. You've taken me out to the middle of butt-fuck nowhere. I was a Bostonite, City Central guy. You're taking me out. All this weird shit's happening. Now there's a finger in a jar that you won't let me play with. That means that there's other moving body parts that are probably bigger and want to kick my ass because everybody does.
You guys are rambling on, and a familiar face to David arrives. It's Dr. Lewis Stubbs. Comes through the double doors, sees you. You see him. He quietly walks up to you guys, says, turns to you, David, and says, "Morning, morning, David. How are you doing?"
Morning.
Oh, he doesn't. I don't think he calls you David. I can't remember what you introduced yourself as before.
Hawkins, probably.
Yeah. Hawkins. Morning. That all went through fine last night. The ambulance has dropped off the remains and bits and pieces. and we've got all the bits. We've got the bagged remains, and we've got the body. I won't mention the names because we're in public area. And if you want to come along, we can just start examining the bits and pieces, if you like. I don't need anything from you. Just need to get changed into scrubs, just so we don't contaminate the body. And is this guy with you? Is this gentleman with you?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you introduce yourself?
You didn't clarify which agency we were supposed to be with before we went in. So I'm just going to go. I'm Agent Riggs.
From the CDC, yeah? Or you said agent,
correct.
But you what? Yeah, so you FBI or what? Are you working for the FBI? Is Frankie working for you as from the CDC?
Who's Frankie?
I mean, sorry, is David working for you? With a beer.
You seem to be very confused, Doctor. Maybe we should carry on with this. Doctor, you seem very confused. Maybe we should just get changed to get on with the investigation, okay?
Okay, so hang on. This is CDC jurisdiction. We've signed the body over to CDC so we can examine it.
Correct. And I rumble around in my pocket and I get the CDC badge out.
My apologies. Sorry. You just said you're an agent. I just assumed it was federal.
With the CDC, it's a possibility.
I know it is. I'm a little nervous and also a little excited, to be honest, because it's not. It wouldn't have been professional for me to release get this body released to anybody other than you guys.
I completely understand, Doctor.
It was a very interesting event at the house that was under investigation, and I'm excited to get to the bottom of as to what was going on there. So, well, if you both want to come through. We'll sort you out some scrubs, or are you going to stay here, Agent
Riggs?
Riggs, are you going to stay here, or are you going to come through and witness?
If it's quite all right with you, I will have a gander at the remains.
Yeah, you can come through. There's waiting areas, but you'll need to clean down and get your scrubs on. Okay.
Obviously.
So long story short, you take into a locker room and there's a digit code locker. Let's say that those locker rooms are just off room 29 in the middle. You get to dump your stuff and there's fresh scrubs waiting for you in each of the lockers. Lewis Stubbs comes in with you and also changes. And then if you're happy to do so, he then leads you through to room 23 and then into room 25, which has got a couple of slabs in there.
Can I just get a clarity about scrubs? Yeah. Are you saying I've got to strip down to my pants and then put the scrubs on, or can I just go on over the clothes?
I don't know. What do you think? I don't know.
You tend to have in morgue situations over scrubs, which is like a big paperish suit that goes over your front of you and ties up at the back.
Let's say that's the case with some some overshoes or something, those sort of things. Just so you know.
I was leaving everything I owned.
Well, I was hoping for that. So let's assume that you take everything with you, but you maybe just left your jacket or something, and just anything heavy, and then you're led through to room 25, which is a slab and a wash slab, and there's a couple of trolleys in there which look like they've been freshly delivered by the ambulance from federal storage. One is a bagged body. You can't see into the body yet, and one is a trolley with a number of bags on it, which you both assume is the bits and pieces that you were picked up of Tybalt Greaves.
Are the bags motionless?
They are very motionless. So, Lewis Stubbs.
Doctor, where should we start?
If you guys want to just position yourselves a little bit out of the way, we'll start on. If you're happy to, do you want to start on the female body?
The complete body, yes.
Yeah. as far as I'm aware. So that trolley is wheeled over to the centre, and there's a number of tools and bits and pieces laid out. And Lewis Stubbs is really chill. He's really kind of almost happy that you're there for him to show his trade a little bit. A lot of his job is like run of the mill, like most coroners, run of the mill stuff, identifying whether someone's had a heart attack or whether someone's broke their neck in a motor accident or something. So this is pretty cool. So he goes on.
Pick up on that. I just want to say, so Doctor, explain exactly what you're doing, how you're doing it, and what the idea is, please. Thank you.
Well, if you're not familiar with the process, we're looking for trauma, we're looking for anything unusual, we're looking for anything like sudden or unexpected. This is normal. Now, the reason why this case is quite exciting is that I'm expecting the unexpected here. So he cuts open the bag and reveals a very beautiful woman, a very dead woman.
A very blue woman.
Very blue woman. Amanda Griffin is African-American. She's tall, beautiful skin, young.
Except she's blue.
Except she's got a lovely blue tinge to her entire body, and not the blue tinge you get when you're just a bit dead, or the blue tinge which is luminous somewhat. There's he starts doing the usual. He opens up like a diamond shape in the chest cavity first, and he explains to what he's looking for now is he's not going to go for the injuries that are obvious to her, which is kind of scratch marks and bite marks. He's going to go and look at.
So we've got scratch marks and bite marks on the exterior. Skin.
We'll look at those in a mo. There's kind of puncture wounds and things on the outside of the skin and around the neck area. He opens up the chest cavity reasonably easily, and
teeth out.
Hey, what?
You're gonna check her teeth.
Oh, do you want me to check the teeth?
Yeah, let's see if she's. I mean, before we go external, surely. Before we go internal, we should surely check external. Teeth, resistance marks, things under the fingernails. I mean, I'm not one to tell you your job, Mr. Medical Examiner, but this is a very different to the case of someone dying of a heart attack. It looks like the woman was attacked before she passed away. We should look for some signs of a struggle, some extra things on the exterior before we start digging around in her chest.
Well, I'll be the judge of that. So he continues to open up the chest cavity, and you notice that on the areas where he's cutting into the chest, there are no visible kind of signs of trauma or anything, and it is curious as to why he's excitedly wanting to get to the bottom of this body. No pun intended. So he opens it up. He starts looking at the organs, starts dishing the organs out. It's like nothing untoward here. There's a lot of what's the best way of describing it? There's a lot of blood.
Awful.
There's a lot of offal.
He's weighing each individual bit as the medical examiner would.
Yeah, he's doing the usual. He's after about 10 minutes of doing this, 15 minutes of doing this, he turns to you guys and said, "Look, after reading the report, what I'm looking for here is kind of some kind of pathogen which was maybe infused. I'm wondering why it's a CDC thing rather than like a homicide. So I'm just trying to get to the bottom as to whether it's like an ingested pathogen or something. So the liver and the lungs and those are normally key markers as to whether there's like some crazy infection." So he done.
Dr. Stubbs, I mean, I don't know much about this side of corpses, but I did a lot of investigating the other side, before they get to your table. And the one thing always kind of rung true was like, you should, look at the evidence and see what story that tells. You seem to have a bit of a story already, and you're trying to find evidence that's going to fit that story.
Oh no, I would never do that. I'm too. This is a professional environment. There's an order in which I work, and this is how we do it. So he's lumping the organs in. He's emptied the organs out and the entrails. He suggests to you that he'll run some tests and bits and pieces on the organs, toxicology, and further tests on pathogens and so on. But he looks to you, David, as to whether you'd want those to be tested at the CDC or not. He then goes on to...
What's the contents of the stomach? Any small dogs?
Should we have a look? He looks at you and kind of takes his mask off for a little laugh, puts his mask back on again. He's warming to you guys a little bit, and he's quite self-aware about his over-enthusiasm. This guy's like been doing his job for ages, and he's acting a little bit like he's got a little bit more respect for you guys because you seem to know what you're talking about rather than kind of just blindly going along with what he's doing. I think your human scores are reasonably high. I think you get a sense that he was just trying to cut to the chase a little bit on what maybe he thought was what he should be doing because he had a bit of an audience from the CDC.
Fair enough. I mean, the reason I tried to get him to do more is to make him more comfortable. If he wanted to show off his skill, was to sort of like, okay, then go for it. Like, show us what you can do. As if there was like some goal of impressing us.
And he's calmed a little bit now. He's like calmed like a sportsman in the first 15 minutes. You know, he's got over that like spazzy energy, and he's now going back to the book. He goes through identification, fingerprints. He takes teeth prints. He takes. He goes on
when
to
he's
say,
taking the teeth prints. There's nothing wrong with the teeth, right? The teeth are.
He suggests that they're just very nice teeth. There's nothing weird about them. Are you looking for anything in particular on the teeth? Or?
No, nothing in particular at all. Just I quite like teeth. I just thought maybe there might be something about them.
No, nothing weird as far as he can see. And really, there's nothing untoward about the gums and so on. He does like a little swab of the mouth for toxicology as well. He puts the head in an X-ray so you can get some. Again,
he's removed the head, or is he just?
No, he pushes it. He pushes the trolley into a local X-ray.
Yeah, great, yeah.
Do you want me to remove the head, Agent Riggs?
Not at this moment.
No,
Let's carry on as we're doing. We may need to go down that route later on.
That's rather unorthodox.
Very much so, but this is an unorthodox situation, as you're very aware, as I can see, Doctor.
He's calming down now. You can feel it. He's not manic. He's not kind of like being stupidly enthusiastic.
We cut the head off of corpses when he's chilling out. Yeah.
Yeah. But he just wants. Yeah. I don't know what his gig. You don't know what his gig is with the CDC, but he's enjoying this. And at this point, he suggests that like we're looking at time of death now. We know when the body was found. The police reports have the body was found. It'll be a little bit difficult to tell how far back that death was, but he kind of looks at the contents, cuts the contents of the stomach open, takes some photographs, suggests that there was a small meal in there, but like well digested, which suggests that the time of death could have been early morning, maybe 6 hours after a meal, 7 hours after a meal, depending on, there's kind of vegetables and other bits and pieces in there. So he suggests that the death maybe took place not a day before the bodies were found, but maybe a few hours before the body was found. He then starts again following correct protocol. Backtracking a little bit, doing some photographs of lacerations and any contusions and bits and pieces on the body. He suggests that there are some stab wounds around the neck, or puncture wounds around the neck. There's a kind of a flap of skin which is open, exposing the trachea.
There were no there was no bloody knife at the crime scene, was there?
Is the trachea pierced itself, or is it just around it?
It's superficial, yeah.
Okay.
On the back, around the back of her head, there is a huge flat dent. He takes a photograph of that. It suggests that could be
hitting the floor,
like hitting a wall or hitting a floor, that sort of thing. It doesn't look like a bludgeon mark. It looks like it's a hitting of the floor. The lacerations and on the body aren't big, and they're not wet per se. They're Lewis Stubbs is suggesting that this could be a knockout. He opens up the top of the head in 3 parts, and he describes that there's trauma to the brain, the back of the brain, and also fractured skull, and this could be a probable cause of death, given that there's some signs of injury and damage elsewhere, but this is kind of the big one. And he said that this might explain why there wasn't a lot of blood on site.
Yeah. So maybe she was felled and brain dead before she was attacked or eviscerated with these tiny lacerations.
Yeah, absolutely. He remarks that.
Hang on, let me get this straight. So the blood just remained in the body, and because the heart wasn't pumping, didn't.
Yeah. So when that's why when he opened it up, there's a lot of blood, there's a lot of viscera as he's taking the organs out, whereas normally, obviously, that would have bled out onto the floor. Yeah. He's saying that they've probably gone down, taken a blow to the head, which just stops everything from working, and then been set upon by tiny claw marks and teeth marks or whatever we're looking at.
He's so he conducts this. He's looked at the brain. He's looked at like urine and bile for other bits and pieces, and that will go to toxicology should you want it to.
That's one thing I was going to say. How long does your toxicology lab take?
It depends what they're looking for, but if you wanted,
I want a broad spectrum.
Did the CDC want to be testing for things that we wouldn't have tests for?
Well, this is the thing I was going to talk about. Should we take 2 sets of samples? We'll give one to you and we'll take one to our lab, and we'll check in with you when you do your basic toxicology.
It's probably better if we keep it all in-house at CDC at this point in time, I think.
So you want to take all of the samples. You don't want anything done by outside. Okay, like you are in charge, Agent Hawkins, or Dr. Hawkins.
So Stubbs is it's kind of gone through the motions, checking the bones, the rest of the bone structure, checking the rest of the body, photographing it. He's returned the organs back. Now he's looking at something that he can't get to the bottom of. He's looking at this blue tinge all over the body, and he starts stripping some skin off. And he says, "I'm just going to look through the kind of subcutaneous layers, or whatever they're called. I don't know."
Yes. What do you think? Mineral deposit, or maybe some kind of sprayed after effect, or do you think the body's produced this itself?
Do you know what? I don't know. I'm going to have a little look. So he does a scraping off an arm. I'll say off a leg. There's a fair bit of skin there.
For a slash.
Hey, should we take a break here while he goes for a slash? Oh, you're on mute. It's even better.
We should get this body done and then probably end the episode if you want to pause the thing until he gets back.
Why not? Are we good? Oh, yeah, we're good. So he's, as you suggested, Riggs, he's effectively taking a subcutaneous skin graft. So he gets a very interesting tool which looks a bit like a wood plane, and then he kind of scrapes it down along the leg. and this blue. It's pretty gross, and it kind of peels a large bit off, and directly underneath is bright blue blood, bright blue. And it's wet, and it's not blue as in deoxygenated or anything. It's blue like the photographs that you had a little.
Yes,
so it's
that you were
shown.
Not blood.
And Stubbs says, "Well, this is very interesting," and he does a few more strips, one on each leg, down the arms, and he's finding that there is a rather extensive pooling of very bright blood just below the surface, on the surface capillaries, but a lot of it, and it's runny. It's a runny. He takes a slide, pops them in and puts it under a microscope himself just to look at the cells. And asks you to come and have a little look.
I'm guessing reproducing at an alarming rate.
No, but that Stubbs says no, but that would be very cool. Are you expecting some reproduction, or are you watching too many sci-fi films? So you look
a bit of both.
you look through this microscope, and he says that you see those cells there, like they have human characteristics. I'll give him a poke. Check this out. Look, so he brings in a little microscopic needle in the slide, and you can see him puncture what is basically a bright blue red blood cell with some kind of odd shape to it, and it splits the cell in half, and the cell itself, of its own accord, joins back together again. And he says, "Well, this is very interesting. It's like self-healing a little bit." There's a human cell would have one cell wall. This is a bit more like a plantain that's got like a surrounding membrane around the cell wall. So it's got human characteristics, but it's a little bit like
it's a double membrane cell.
It's a double membrane cell
with some kind of intelligence based into it that is more than its general reproductive and die situation.
So he's kind of baffled, but his eyes are illuminated by this.
I'm not surprised.
Now
I whisper over to Hawkins, stick a bullet in his head.
He suggests that we should do a bit more testing in now on the blood. In that the body hasn't really turned up much, and looks at you guys, with the assumption that this is not your first rodeo, whether you agree or not.
I think we'd probably be a better place to do our testing at the CDC. We've got, I don't want to be at all rude, but we've got some higher end equipment there. We could probably run more tests faster.
Sure.
And it's a much more secured lab. At this moment, Doctor, I'd like you to step away slightly, just so we can make sure that everything is bagged and everything is accounted for.
Sure.
Agreed, Hawkins?
Agreed.
Do we have loads of jars? Because bags are not going to do this. We've just got a human-sized jar that we can stick her in.
Stubbs asks you a couple of questions. So he says, okay, so on the body that is presumed to be Amanda, we haven't had an identification yet, but it's presumed and probable that this is Amanda. Do you want me to arrange the toxicology, or are you going to arrange that?
I think Hawkins wants the toxicology done there. One thing you can do, as you've taken teeth prints, is you can check dental records for us and confirm the body's identity.
Sure, that's
Wait, I think we'll do it all. I think we'll have the dental prints as well, please.
Sure.
I think I just need to converse with my colleague for a second. I think
I'll tell you what.
Take everything away from these guys, they're going to get more inquisitive. If you allow them at least to do one or two things, which they would normally do in a general investigation, which should have been done already at the morgue, to be fair, But like, just
what I'm thinking is, at the moment, as he said, they haven't even identified her. They don't know 100% for certain it's her. We know it's her, right? But they haven't got legal proof that it's her. If we can remove the corpse and all evidence, he can never prove she was actually in the building.
But but no, you can't, because they've had all the intake from the morgue. Unless you want to go and burn down the morgue with their intake, like their receipts and everything else. Remember, everything from the federal morgue would have been receipted. Yeah, because it's not been done yet. But it's
so at this point, the corpse is at this point the Jane Doe.
I would, I think I'm not going to help you here. I wouldn't overthink the complexity. The actual situation is a lot simpler because you have control of so much.
Yeah, I mean,
the point. What I'm trying to get at is you don't want an outbreak. You're taking away from a very excited doctor some kind of fucking breakthrough, right? Look what happened when we tried to deal with fucking Suave and how we got played and how that he thought that he done us over instantaneously because we wanted to take everything.
I'm just
trying to give them some breadcrums. We can hide the main thing.
Okay, look. I'll tell you what. You can carry on this weird thing you got going on with Dr. Stubbs. He can keep the dental prints, but we're taking everything else. All right.
Yeah, that's fine. As I just said to him, the exact words were, if you could run your general identification service off dental prints, which is what he would do for everybody that came through this fucking office, he wouldn't think anything hide nor hair of it. If we take that away as well, he's going to be going, shit, something's really up with this.
Ooh, that's a bit spicy.
It's more, okay, all right.
It's more of just keeping him as like, this is just a general thing, don't worry about it.
Okay, so we'll call Dr. Stubbs back over. Sorry about that. Private matters. Inner
firm politics.
No, I'm not familiar with working on high priority cases for CDC, but I'm familiar with closing, like stopping exposure. So that's fine. If you need help with anything, I mean, we've still got to. Do you still want to go through the body that is presumed to be Tilbert Greaves?
Mr. Greaves.
Yes, please.
I believe we do. I also believe that's a good time to end the episode.